one of the specimens that people have a hard time with, which is, you can't see it right now, is this little thing, oops, here. This is the hyoid. And there's a lot of terminology to it. And this is the only one we have. You can see pieces of it stapled to some of the articulated cat platforms, like a little bit of it right here. Oops. You could decrease magnification for a moment. And you can see a little piece of it right there. It's very fragile, so if you go to use it, be careful. But even what we have here is not intact. Right? And so there's a lot of terminology here, but it's going to remind you of the terminology you saw with the visceral skeleton of the mud puppy and the shark. Same basic rules apply. But to position this, so if you compare this to the cat, and I can't really even move this without damaging it, but it would be sitting on the cat like so. So, like that. So, for point of reference, this spot here is where the trachea is going through, trachea and larynx. This is the front of the cat, head would be above it, all right? And this piece here, that seems like the center of it, like the bar on the letter H, you run your finger under your tongue to the seam here where your neck muscles and tongue muscles meet, that's that location. All right, so that part there is the base of the whole hyoid apparatus, so it's called basi-hyoid. These two that wrap around the voice box and the windpipe, if you think about the big part of your voice box here, of your larynx, is the thyroid cartilage. So these are called the thyrohyoid. Okay, that's new terminology. These two that look like little horns coming off the basi-hyoid, of course, as soon as I said horn, you knew exactly what it was. Ceratohyoid. And then on this side only, we have a piece on top of cerato. What was the piece on top of the ceratobranchial in your shark gill or your mud puppy? No peeking. Epibranchial, right? So what do you think we call this piece on top of the ceratohyoid? Epihyoid. Really? It was that hard? I should make you do push-ups. This little piece here isn't even found on your hyoid. This is the stylohyoid. And this is one of the things that's kind of odd about humans, but during development, our stylohyoid breaks off of the hyoid apparatus and fuses to the underside of your squamosal bone, or temporal as we call it in humans, to make a process called the styloid process. That anchors tongue muscles like your styloglossus muscle. Okay? And now we don't even have the last piece here, but this piece curves around this swollen thing on the base of the skull. What do we call that swollen thing? Anyone remember? Let's rotate this a bit, which takes it out of your field of view, I'm sorry.
No, good.
Oops, still not coming out. Okay, here we go. This is the tympanic bula, right? So that portion of the hyoid is called tympanohyoid. Now for you, you only have thyrohyoid, basi-hyoid, and ceratohyoid. If you took human anatomy, you learned that the basi-hyoid was the body of the hyoid, thyrohyoid were the greater horns or greater cornu, and the ceratohyoid were called lesser cornu. Okay, so we don't have all those bits and pieces. Now another stupid thing, because I'm a nerd and I know all this stupid stuff, this is cartilage in your kitty cat. But in a lion or a tiger, it's bone. So lions and tigers can roar, kitty cats can't. So that's what makes a difference. That's why a puma can't roar either, because it's got cartilage there. So if you could figure a way to ossify your pet cat's hyoid, you'd have a roaring little kitty. That would be interesting. Anyways, there you go. We'll talk about some other stuff later, but